Let's talk about it, y'all. Let's talk about it. Now, with so many people proclaiming to be Christ, and I don't like to say so many, but with the few that's proclaiming to be Christ, people might be confused. So a lot of people are looking for the Antichrist, not knowing that the Antichrist has already been in the world for many years. Now, why do I say that? Here's an example. It says, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. Now, most people think to be an Antichrist, you have to be proclaiming to be Christ. That's false. An anti is somebody that's against. So somebody was sitting in Moses' seat, but they wasn't claiming to be what? Moses. The scribes and Pharisees weren't saying they was Moses. They was teaching Moses' words, but they was sitting in Moses' seat. So they was playing the role of Moses, but at the same time against Moses. So we got to understand, just because somebody is proclaiming to be Christ, that don't make them an antichrist. Because there's a lot of people that never proclaim to be Christ, and they are antichrist. Because remember, Christ speaks for God, not the people who read the Bible. So let's look at the definition of anti. So break down the word antichrist. Against Christ. Why are they against Christ? Opposed, to be against. Opposite. Opposed. A person opposed to a particular policy. Now remember, the policy for God is Christ is the one mediator between man and God. So while we have so many people that have opened the book and they are mediating for God, then they will be what? Opposing Christ. They're not with Christ. They're in Christ's seat. So let's see why it's many antichrists, because remember, we didn't have this book in the 1800s. Everybody in Africa didn't have the Bible. It wasn't preachers all over Africa. It wasn't preachers all over America in the early 1900s. It wasn't preachers just in America like this. So this is how we know this is the last hour. Come walk with me. So as you can see, most people is waiting for the Antichrist to come. They say, little children, it is the last hour. As you have heard that the Antichrist is coming. So again, more people looking for this person to be claiming to be Christ, and everybody gonna say, oh no, that's the Antichrist. But check it out. It says, even now, many Antichrists have come. So what are the many Antichrists? Those that sitting in Christ's seat, teaching from the book they read. By which we know this is the last hour, which is simply the last days. This is how we know it's the last days. Because many people, it's never been a time in this world where everybody all over the world was teaching about God. Because remember, the biblical scrolls was in one place. The biblical scrolls was in one place until Great Britain came in East Africa and took them and translated them and passed them out to the world in the 1900s. Before that, the world didn't have the biblical scrolls. The world received the biblical scrolls by the people who stole the original scrolls, translated and passed it out to the world. So as you see, many antichrists have come. So it's many antichrists. And again, the antichrists are those that's teaching without Christ. If I'm anti-fungus, if I'm anti-social, that means what? I am without. I don't do. I don't have. So in order to teach about God, you're supposed to have Christ. And if you don't have Christ and teaching about God, you are the many antichrists. And that's how we know this is the last hour and we finna have what? A new beginning. So as always, brothers and sisters, I hope the Father has circumcised y'all hearts and ears for the message. Peace and blessings. I'm out.